Welcome back. One more episode of Higurashi where a certain individual is really pulling all of the strings, accusing family members of heinous acts, whether or not they're justified, but gaining the entire animosity of the village towards them, and vice versa. If this is a retelling of the story that we've seen already, how long before the police guy is involved, and just how quickly off the rails can it all go. I'm hoping for the best of someone in this to have a revelation, a turnaround to go against her narrative and the way that she's trying to play things out. But I'm starting to question, is this just a different perspective of what we've seen, or new tales entirely? To find out, we're going to have to watch more, so prepare yourselves, grab a drink, and let's begin. Going through with the presupposition of the uncle being this monster, because this is what happened, originally. That's why she went back, to protect the room and everything. This is not this timeline. At least he knows that much. Wait, no, that's bad for him to know. Yeah, the best way to stop a child screaming is to shout and cause more of a scene. It's now just a footnote in it. So, going through that kind of pain means that she can monopolize. It's all a matter of perspective, really. Turn your worst moments into strength, although in some cases... Well, good for her to claim that. I'm not sure the truth behind the matter. Are you? Are you really? How about a little introspective and realize that... No, she isn't. If that was the case, there are a myriad of ways to go about it that don't require all the things that she's trying to pull. I do wonder, though, along the way, is there going to be a moment of self-reflection where she's like, you know what? This is just death and despair. There's no just having an evening with her best friend. And I'm waiting for this bit to be a premonition, especially with the fade in going back to the reflection being her childlike appearance. Is it the timelines when they actually get separated fully? And I'm sure I asked the first time around when we actually got introduced to the character and the name and whatnot, but Awa, whatever that pronunciation is, what is the history behind that and where they're from and anything? Yeah. And if you know even partially about what may be going on, How could you ignore that now? I mean, to have someone to have that kind of reaction to even slight physical touch is insane. And now, what I'm hoping, and all of my hopes are dashed. I didn't even get to finish my sentence before it's destroyed. I was hoping that there was a actual sense of reflection there, but no. No. All part of the plan. Just how far is she willing to go? Because she herself doesn't want to be saved. I mean, it would be a bit more of a proof that way. Doesn't she attack him with a chair or something? Is this what happens? Having this little strategy meeting. Just go in and save her yourself. What a bastard. Look at him. Preparing dinner. How much of a... Wait, what? How do you not know simple kitchen measurements? That is a cup. Or a glass. Yeah, that's a teaspoon. I mean, good that he didn't try to put it out with water, but dinner's ruined. I mean, you could have easily sorted that with a damp tea towel rather than ruin all the ingredients and a fire extinguisher. You're trying to step up and do something, to counteract and counterpoint what all the horrid things that she's telling him she's enduring. They tell it was an accident while cooking. But a house fire? Well, actually, no, house fire probably would be a good reason for them to investigate. Depends on his demeanor and when he tries to get what he tries to get across. I mean, the fact that he doesn't really know much, and the fact we're seeing it through his attempts at cooking, means that he can be convinced of these things quite easily. I mean, is she enjoying these kind of moments where they're actually having a good little family life with the uncle, or no? It's just a means to an end. You'd think that compared to everything that she had to go through, it would be nice to turn it around like this, but I mean, the battle plans that we've seen be sketched up for their attempts to solve it all. The arcs where they got the entire village behind it. What a not really unusual bunch, considering they are a friend group, but leave it to someone else who hasn't drawn so much attention. Well, get her a blanket, and I'm sure he can figure out where to put the trash himself. It does seem as though there is a ever so slight apprehension about what she's doing there. It really flip flops between her just going for her master plan and moments when things just kind of work out. Yeah, you won't see me going that far and doing laundry. Well, if you start hiding it and everything, then it just becomes more. I'm not sure what the good word would be. Yeah, maybe considering what he's been told, and the whole village is against you. It's understandable he's a little antagonistic with those around him, but still. What happens if we all go, and the teachers and the principal and the villagers and the police? I mean, he is a good leader, whipping them up into like a bit of a frenzy. I do appreciate, I do like the two sides of the story and how everything can be so horribly misconstrued when it's one word against the other. See, isn't that the same story that some of the villagers before came up with? The reason why he came back. Good that they think with level heads. You can't be just rush in case there isn't anything there, and then you'd be sued to oblivion. But also, not just dismissing everything. Oh, look who it is. Speak of the devil and they shall appear. They all look on the floor. Is he prostrating himself? I mean, that's a good way to break through any sort of barrier that you've built up and kind of impression of yourself that everyone has. I mean, probably thinking about it, oh, this is the Yakuza thing. Let's talk things out. See what's going on at least. Unfortunately, because he's now turned to him for aid, we know how this plays out. Just how soon Sadako gets the syringe out. I mean, him being. Oh, is that why he turned up at the the child welfare services place and was given some back and forth with Keiichi. That would explain a bit. It's not just the words, his words, but and yet why would the friend group be fighting tooth and nail to save her from this terrible situation if they view her with such animosity? I mean, there doesn't look to be any signs of a struggle or, yeah, no ropes, no locks on the doors. Well, not really help with paper thin walls, but still. Because her uncle has really turned a new leaf. He's not the same man that he once was. Unfortunately, that's the only truth of the matter here. How far people can change. But wouldn't that be a point on the graph for, you know what, that means things can change. That means Rika can change her mind. You don't have to go about it all 80s slasher fic. What was that she just put in there? Okay, that's what that was put in there. So that's how she would get him. I did wonder, some people when they're not feeling well or distracted, but he would notice it. And now you will be the very cause. Villain monologue, is that necessary? Do you need to twist and joke like that at the time? I mean, we've seen what we've heard what he can do. Hang on, at the end of this, where he goes, off the rails at the festival, we know, I think, Keiichi survived by taking out the uncle. Was it Rena that survived? Or was it... I can't remember who the other person was. That's a big oh dear. Because if Satoko goes out on this arc, he would leave things in good stead for the few episodes that are left after this. Those damn mosquitoes, they get everywhere. And this year seems to be a case where he will go above and beyond to get justice. So, did he get any information about the CWS? Don't know why I use the abbreviation there, but just a friendly check-up and prove to himself that he is a changed man. And yet he is... It's him... Actually, no, I guess how calling the child services and separating the loving uncle away from her so that she has no one left. That could be some advanced bullying there, I guess. I mean, he does have that kind of face. But can someone not do laundry in peace? And there we go. Well, depending on how they responded or talked about it, I thought it could be a bullying pointer. See, it's proof they are bullying her, but they actually seemed worried for her situation there. Unless it's some very good acting. Okay, now I can understand why he went a little off the rails. All those steps would drive anyone insane. Ha. Did it look at him funny? Wasn't he the one saying that, make sure the shrines and everything were kept secure and safe? So now you're setting him up. Uh-huh. Is this... I'm not sure what the case is here. Is it to bring out the villagers' hatred towards him? So he's using him. Got it. Using him to draw out his culprits, to draw out the truth of the matter. There's a difference between just wishing it or hoping it on the right people and actually carrying it out. And as we know of what's actually behind the curse, the entire aspect behind this arc, this story, this season actually, seeing things from multiple perspectives, the back and forth, the bits that we didn't get to see, the fact that we were getting a one-sided tale before, and under normal circumstances, it was all apt, and considering what we've seen before, yes. And now having this... I really am trying to remember what happens when he, brings out the gun in the festival. I think Satoko is, lack of a better word, one of the ones in danger, but I can't remember if Rika was as well. In which case, that could make this interesting. I do love the back and forth with everything in the village. The fact you got Tepe who's actually looking out for someone to try and help him to make amends, I guess, with some of the thoughts people may have about him, the preconceptions, but also is struggling against the fact that he thinks the entire village is against him, so he's lashing out. And now it doesn't help that he's got someone that is using him for their own nefarious needs, drawing out the culprit of the curse. I mean, it's kind of clever in a really dumb kind of way. I know he said he wasn't going to be doing this one by the book, but wow. I do wonder if somewhere along the way, Kichi, or anyone actually, because we've seen, I've said this several times actually, we've seen Tepe break through to have some memories of, what a weird dream. I do want someone else in the middle of this to awaken as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem as though that will be the case, because we're going through the arcs and the stories pretty much one-to-one of how we've seen them before, just from a different angle. Are the final ones, the episodes we haven't seen yet, also going to be that? Or is it going to flip it at the last minute? I kind of lament that we've gotten so far off-piste from the mystery of the curse and Takano and what she's doing in the underground lab and all that. Because that was kind of a weird, shady government conspiracy bullshit that I could get behind. This gods playing gods and giving a child a power and turning her into a witch. And what do witches mean in this world? I mean, it's still interesting, just not to the same degree. But if the uncle really cared about his image, maybe he could start doing the laundry in that little pinny apron thing. Because if the villagers are already looking for, wait, he's doing laundry? Maybe the apron would offset him shouting. So he's doing laundry in a cute little apron. Granted, the cooking skills are going to need a little touch up though. I really, really want Rika to step up and do something here. Because, well, we've seen her fight through the attempts before, and obviously it's getting out of hand, not understanding how things are working, because Sadako is working behind the scenes to really mess things up. But I know this arc, or this season, isn't exactly her focus, or focused on her. But she has, for being the mainish character for so long, and now fallen by the wayside, and she is just a puppet in the big game of Sadako's here. Maybe I'll get my wish in a couple of episodes' time. Maybe things will come to light and there will be that confrontation. We'll have to see. But Higurashi being Higurashi, and still as obtuse but also clear as ever. If you've enjoyed it, let me know. If I've entertained you, leave a like on the video. If I haven't, well, I don't see why you're still here unless you've fallen asleep. But if that hasn't been the case, consider subscribing so you don't miss out future uploads. You can also go onto my Discord for notifications for when new videos come out. Or join on for memes and conversations and whatever else might be going on over there. But definitely try to take care of yourselves. Try to get both sides of a story before you draw a conclusion. I'll see you in the next one. If you want to put yourself in the middle of a conflict with your 2 cents, consider supporting the channel. And you too could be like a governmental organisation that turns a blind eye at anything wrong just to continue getting what you want. in this case would be more anime. So to Aegis TR, Ducky26, Guado, Kite, Reds Racer, Ultra Pouring, Wolfie Sensei, Zug, and everyone else, I really do thank you. Just when I really do need aid, is anyone going to listen?